Salam fam, hope you're doing well. I just wanted to bounce some thoughts off you. You know how I do. One of the ways I know that Islam has changed me is because I really have broken that addiction to the fear dopamine. What I mean by that is the intimidation factors. So before, when I was around gang members or just, people who are very haughty and arrogant, I would get this compulsion to be more kind of flexing all the time. More rooster-like, I guess you could say. Just kind of in your face, catty. And now, I just kind of feel more stoic, more centered. I mean, I still have all the fighting skills, butchering skills, everything else that I would need to completely defend myself in a real-world environment. Digital, not that great, but I'm getting there with good advice and good services. But everyone has a weak point that you have to work on, so nothing I can do about that. But Islam has really made me feel like this stillness in my chest. It's like air has been pumped into your chest. Not in like the weird way, but like there's not a deep depression or pain there that feels like a stabbing or deflation. And there's like a bouncy momentum there that I've spoken about. And also, there's also like a feeling of sensitivity towards things that are like more innocent and pure. So the other day, for example, there's a little boy. He was trying to hug his sister because she had to go to class. And he's just little. He's not old enough to go to school yet. And he was crying because he didn't want his sister to go to class. And it was the cutest thing in the whole world to just watch her hug him and explain she had to go to class, and he was crying. He had his little scooter and helmet on, and it was just so adorable. And it's a sort of mercy in your heart, because I was really thinking about how Islam talks about obstinate tyrants and cruelty and power, and how you get a huge ego and you think you're untouchable. That's not really what God likes. You can have strength without that. And I just found it very compelling to sit and think about how that makes the difference, between, I think, somebody who's really trying to be an authentic Muslim and someone who just wants world pleasures of the worldly life while masquerading as a Muslim. And I feel like also further that Islam has also made me be able to resist temptation more. I mean, I was pretty good at it before, but now it feels more of like, nope, not even gonna slice at it. Like, how do I put it? Like, before someone would put some bait in your face, as they say, you might do something rude to get them away, say something maybe nice to get them away, responding in a way. But now it sort of feels like sometimes you don't even have to respond, you just have to ignore, deflect, kind of laugh in your own, circle, and then just let it be and not even take the time. And other times, when you do decide to engage, you come with full force and firm feet, but you don't transgress the limits and the bounds. And I feel like that disciplined behavior, that code of ethics, that way of being has come because of Islam. And not only from the Quran, because you pick up on the nuances as you read each time, but also because of the hadith and the tafsir and the Islamic canon of literature that's out there for you to reflect upon. And I find it very valuable. And I feel like that's one way, in several ways in which Islam has changed me. And I can see myself being very different than the other women, especially the women around here, just in general, just catty, arrogant, hoochie mama women who, they got some chip on their shoulder still. They gotta prove themselves to everyone. They're addicted to their vanity, and I'm not, never really was, right? But I find it freeing having the niqab. I really like it, and it's a little odd. People are starting to call me oppressed. I'm not oppressed. I like wearing it. It's a little odd. It's so strange how people get angry at modesty It's really bizarre, I have to say. People getting angry at modesty, but they're just like addicted to lust. It's like they want to be able to look at you in a certain way, and if you don't give them what they want, then they see you as like the weird one. When it's like, oh well, you know, if you want to go look at something like that, well, there's the internet for you. Everyone doesn't have to be on the menu for you, for your eyes. And I feel really powerful because of that. Is Islam giving me, by the will of Allah, a sense of self that is not really reliant on anything. Just really the detachment is really coming in. I mean, I used to title chase, bragging, you know, just trying to do everything I can to separate myself from the herd and lead the pack. I can do that either way, but I don't have to be so showboaty about it. Because you can get inspired. At the same time, there's always going to be someone passing you. And just because you're passing someone and they're sitting doesn't mean you're actually ahead of them. They could just be taking a break and have stacked way more accomplishments than you. But also, you know how the Quran always talks about the hereafter as the real world, and the worldly life is, you know, it's just this temporary illusion. I really find that freeing because it makes me content with having much less. It really makes me feel like you can just be happy with your simple cup of coffee. You have your donut, you have your treats, you have all kinds of small things in life that you can get a lot of happiness from. You don't necessarily need, you know, fancy items. Not that I ever liked fancy items before. I'm not saying you have to, you know, only buy the cheap things, or, you know, you can still buy a good product that's for the right price, you know, that's eco-friendly, fair trade, and the workers get compensated fairly. You can still buy consciously sourced products that you need, that leave a good carbon footprint and such. But I just find it being inside of me this sense of more thankfulness, just simplicity, you know. And I kind of find it amazing because I'm around a lot of people who, that's not the game, you know. The game is get the house, get the car, stack it, hoard it. But no, you know, they can see me kind of weird, but I see them as weird now. I also think I like is that it feels good, just how like the prayers that you have to do, your prayers, it keeps you out of trouble. You know, before I'd be a little shy, like I have to go pray, and they'd be like, what? I'm like, I have to go pray. Like, what do you mean? Like, I have to go pray, man, you know, like, gotta go. And before it would feel awkward trying to say it because you have to cut someone off of their conversation, or you have to decline something or leave early, right? I know sometimes you can't, you gotta make it up later, your prayers, but now I find myself organizing my life around the prayer schedule. And you cut out a lot of drama. One thing I hate is people who bring drama into my life. I don't like drama. I don't like it, you know? Like, I was like, what, 18? You watch Bad Girls Club or some stupid drama show. You're like, whoa, or Jersey Shore or something like that. But now it's like, I'm older and it's more peace. The less people who can get around my consciousness, the better. And if someone creates any sense of drama in my life, I close the door completely. Just shut it closed. There's no open it. I don't like people who bring drama into my life. And you know what's interesting is that when I was reading some hadith and such, and the scholars were commenting about when you pray, you need to have God consciousness, you need to have peace of mind, you need to be focused, you need to have sincerity. And if you're allowing too many dramatic people in your life, you're not gonna get that, you know. And I think a lot of ladies, they get overpowered by men with money, men who are good in the sheets or something. They submit in a way that isn't healthy, to where it's actually toxic, and they get kind of vampirized on, and they don't have their sense of self anymore. But Islam makes me feel like it's a safeguard, you know, that no matter how handsome someone is, they don't have, or like any powerful woman, anything like that. It's like, I gotta go pray. I don't really care what you gotta say, you know. It's like you put God before anyone else. You're like so free, actually. I think that's what it means, one interpretation of like being self-sufficient. Just not allowing anything to distract you from God, and to make it so that your life is completely focused on that. It's actually so peaceful, because restricting myself to what is the most important and appreciating what I have and being very minimalistic and just calming down, enjoying nature, breathing fresh air, not going out, not doing crazy things. Not that I was before, but you get what I mean. It really senses me in a way that makes me feel very centered, firm-footed, and the discipline of having to, do the prayers. Like, for example, I've been doing the Qiyam prayer, and that's 6 prayers. And it's a lot of discipline to do that, to wake up. You got to do what you got to do. And it feels really good, because it makes me feel like I'm putting my best foot forward. And sometimes I think to myself, other people get to do more, I want to do more. So it's like this sense of competition of wanting to do more good deeds. Not that you want to be showboaty, but that you want to make sure that on your record, on the day of accounting, you have something there. Because if you think about it, if you're not even doing your prayers, and you're not even wearing the traditional clothing, and you're not reading, and you're not educating yourself, you're kind of falling behind. And I don't want to be those people falling behind. I'm already a great multitasker. I already accomplish a lot, because I'm always doing something. And people have made fun of me for that, but oh well. That's helped me succeed, and I know what things I want to focus on, and when I need to relax, and when I need to push my strongest foot forward. But Islam really helps me in that way of making me realize, like, okay, you can do this or that, but you also have to make sure you're leveling up your mind and getting closer to your maker and understanding the purpose of your existence here. And it's really helpful, because you sit back and I think, just how fragile we kind of are in our little flesh bags. Like how arrogant we get when we're like, we women, for example, when you're between 20 and 28, I think is when you're the most arrogant. You really are so conceited, so obsessed, so narcissistic, so egotistical, so addicted to making sure you're the prettiest person in the room. It's just like, man, it's such a waste of time. You get beauty, get your partner, you shouldn't focus on it that much. It's weird, you break the Hall of Mirrors hold on you. I think when you go into Islam, that's how I feel. And it's interesting just seeing how certain women act, when they see, a hijab or something. It's like, I'm not oppressed. I chose to wear it, I like it. The niqab is actually something I really, really like, which I find very fascinating. I like it. They say, it's not required. You don't have to wear it. It's like, why are you trying to get me to take it off? If I want to put it on, I want to put it on. I'm in a free country. Okay? I want to wear it. I like it. Deal with it. I don't know what to say. It's odd. Like there'll be guys with their big stomachs out, they're all hairy, and they have a tiny Speedo on the beach, and they're eating something and they spill mustard or ketchup on their chest. Like no one's telling that dude to cover up, But if I wear a niqab for a YouTube video, people will be like, you should take it off. It's really it's just so weird, because it's strange, It's like, just shows you how hedonistic we kind of are. It's strange how the cycles of culture fluctuate, where for you, the tribal people, no one looks at them very sexual if they're out in the safari, or they're out, and the Native Americans are out. Nobody really looks at them. Mormon women cover, the traditional ones, right? They wear their bonnet, their prairie dress. They see a nun, they don't think them as oppressed, but always it seems like it's Islamic. It's always about oppression. They don't see it as noble. But then, like, for example, if a lady on Vogue magazine with her red lipstick and her huge sunglasses puts on some fancy scarf on her head, but she's not Muslim, She has like a cigarette or some Gucci perfume in her hand. They see it as like very casual, very classy. It's very strange, the hypocrisy, but I'm not oppressed and I like it. It's really relieving. I just really like it so much. It's just amazing how I have all these great things that are coming from Islam. And I think more women, maybe this Ramadan, should try to just be better Muslims. But also, not to be just cold, but to be nourishing, but also strength filled and fortified. But those are some thoughts, fam, that I really feel like Islam has helped me. It's really changed me, because breaking that addiction to wanting to be intimidating all the time, to always have the upper hand, I don't care. And it's strange, because people will say something and I don't even get the impulse in my chest to be like, I'm gonna say something back. Before I could get triggered way more, baited way more easy, but now that I spot the patterns and I see the certain way people try to trick me or play games or anything like that, it's just like, no, I'm just gonna keep doing what I want to do. It's very great. Truly, it really is. And I hope other people can have the same feeling that I have. And maybe you have it, but maybe you have it more. But hopefully this was a good video for you.